So, this is the whole game we're in. The consciousness wants to realize itself. Well, if the consciousness is consciousness, then, like, what do you mean? What do you mean it wants to realize itself? It is what it is. Yeah, I know. And it knows. But what it does is it gets duped. I like the word, it drinks from the fountain of forgetfulness. And then it puts on all these clothes called the bodies, the mind, and the emotions, and the physical body. So it puts all that stuff on, and then it identifies with it. And then it imagines this is what it is. And then it enjoys it for a little while. And then it suffers it for a little while. And then it wants, there's an inclination that, like, whoa, I'm not this though. Like, why do I keep believing I'm this? I need to recognize my true nature, essence, which is formless. Okay, good. I do that now. Meditation. Damn, I can't do it though. The identity is so strong with the human construct that it's like I can't do it. And then the struggle begins. Spiritual practice, trying to find gurus, being a spiritual aspirant, sadhaka, all that comes into play now. So then it wants to taste, like, go through the rigmarole of recognizing itself, because it enjoys the progress it's making. Because there's consciousness of the transformation, the alchemic process, but there's also, at the same time, realization at some point that it's like, wait a minute though, I'm watching myself do this transformation. It's not who I am. I want to realize that more though. I want to realize the one that's watching more than the one that's actually transforming. Man, it's hard though. What do I do? So the hardness, the difficultiness, actually makes it more, you're more able to experience the so-called shift because of the contrast. You see? This is why. So there's intelligence behind everything. It's not like it's supposed to just be good and easy, because if it was, you wouldn't know that it's good and easy. You need that friction and that struggle for a while. So the higher intelligence actually made it like that, but we can't remember. Not totally. We're in the process of remembering, the process of awakening, the process of evolving, whatever words you want to use. But you see how it's connected? It has to work like that. You need duality, you need the opposites, so that you can enjoy the so-called positive aspect of duality. You need the negative aspect of duality so you can enjoy the positive aspect of duality. So the game's set up like that. But the main goal or purpose in life is for the consciousness to realize itself. This is the main goal. This is the highest purpose. Not to make a bunch of money and get in the perfect relationship and the family and the marriage and, oh, I have nice kids and all that. That's cool. That's cool. That's part of the experience in life. I'm not knocking that. But that's not the highest purpose. Because all those things, they're very, they don't give deep satiation. But the consciousness has to taste all that for a while to figure that out. Even good health. Good health isn't the password into nirvana. Good health is cool, but if you haven't transcended the ego is going to use the so-called good health to do delusional things, and at some point, some lifetime, you're going to lose the good health. It's all worked out to where nothing on an external level is going to give us what this deep inclination we have is looking for. But how do we come to realize that? By trying everything. I tried everything in my life. If you tell me to make a desire list, which I want to tell you to do that, so you can see where you're at, like what's inside you. Make a desire list. I couldn't make one. Like, I don't have nothing on there that really means anything. Or if you want to say, I enjoy the deeper realization of the self. But even that's not a deeply identified desire, because that's there automatically. It's not the real self that's even desiring that. These aren't just words, these are realizations. You can look in your own self and confirm if that's true or not. The feeling, the tendency, the desire to wake up, you notice it's like a feeling, it's like a tendency. There's awareness of that. So what am I more? Am I more the tendency that wants to wake up, or am I the awareness in which that tendency is happening in? Contemplate that and see. And that contemplation never gets old, and you never reach 100% like factual confirmation where it's like, yeah, this is what I am. You can always recognize who you are more and more and more. It's like having a sweet, I'm at the coast, can you tell? It's like having a sweet mango. It's hard to find a good organic heirloom mango. Let's say you did. And it's super sweet, super balanced, super nutritious and good for you, and electrical and high vibration. That's what good fruit give you. And you're like, this is so good. It's like having that, but then the tree you're getting it from, it keeps producing even better quality mangoes. You're like, whoa, like this is too much. Like this life is outdoing itself. Like how can it get more sweet? Like it's already at the max sweetness. No, it's not. That's what's so cool about the whole evolutionary process, because people ask this question, which you kind of got to be in a too much of a mind identity state to ask this, which is part of the process though. Like, what's the point, man, of all this suffering? Like, what the hell's going on? Can't God just incarnate as an already self-realized human being and just enjoy like that? Like, why do we got to go through this hell and suffering first and then realize who we are? That's the game. Because the level of experience, we couldn't have the experience of the serenity or the contentment that we feel as we get deeper into self-realization. That wouldn't be the same if we didn't have the contrast. Now, somebody might be clever and say, well, God can do anything, but it's not like that. Our higher self wanted to experience that. It's not that we're some kind of victim and that there's an entity up there called God and he says, bam, like you're gonna do this. And we're like these individual souls that are like, oh man, God, why you do me like that? And it's not like that. It's our own higher consciousness that wants to experience that. Don't let the mind ask too many existential questions, because it's a deception. That's how we get thrown off the track. You see, we start trying to figure stuff out that you can't figure out while you're in this localized individual form. It's impossible. You can't comprehend it. It's like if you ask the question, how can God be running everything? Like there's 8 billion people on the planet and there's trillions of other life forms, but yet God's the essence of all that. How is that possible? I'm God, so I should feel the essence of everything. I don't feel it. I feel the essence of this apparent form. I don't feel the essence of that dog there. I can if I focus a little bit, then I can feel, oh wait, that's consciousness. But how are you going to feel consciousness of the trillions of life forms on this planet, not counting the infinite life forms on infinite other planets? How are you going to contemplate that? It's impossible. You can't expect to have such realization while the consciousness has stepped down its infinitude and is posing as this human form. So don't even try. And any questions that get close to that, just drop them. Don't worry about it, because it's a mind trap. And then you ask me those questions, I'm not gonna go there in my mind. Like, intuitively we can have a sense or a grasp, a subtle grasp of how that works. So, but how can somebody who has an intuitive sense how that works transfer that onto you? It's intuition. Intuition it's super personal and individual and intimate and subtle. You can't transfer that to somebody. So I would encourage one to get more in touch with their intuition, and then you can have a sense of these answers your own self. And the answers will always get deeper. There's always something more to figure out. There's something more to realize. You see? There's no end to this. Don't identify with the one that's trying to realize itself. That's already there. That tendency to wake up is already there. You don't need to take it so serious. Don't take anything serious. This is what the non-dual people try to point to. That's why they say like nothing exists, everything's apparent, and nothing's real, and all that stuff. But that's easy to say. It's one thing to say something, it's another thing to actually have some level of realization behind it. Because what good is it to say that? You just walk around like, and somebody does a consult with you, and they just tell you, hey, whatever problem they give, you just tell them it exists, and nothing's real, and this computer screen's not real, and nothing. Oh wow, thank you. Here's your $100. Yeah, you really helped me. So there has to be a balance with this. There's absolute level and there's practical level. Let intuition guide you how to balance that and manage that. And it'll happen. There's no way for it to not happen. It's going to happen. So relax, let it happen. If you're kind of impatient and you want it now, that's cool, that's normal, of course. But that's still not you. It's a passing feeling and tendency. Another day you can be like, man, screw this whole non-duality. It's just a waste of time. We don't know. This game show is running itself, and let it run itself. Good. Have a good day.